Hi class, welcome to our chapter 13 on the Balkans and the Middle East. The presentation should start very shortly. There might be one segment when I say about halfway through, okay, we're going to stop for now. It will stop for just a second and then continue. All right, here we go. Balkans and the Middle East. So this is a map of the Balkans and the Middle East. The blue is the Balkans and it includes Greece, Albania, Montenegro, Serbia, Republic of Macedonia, Croatia, Slovakia, Bulgaria, and Romania. Then the Middle East includes Bahrain, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Turkey, Yemen, and the United Arab Emirates. Geography, it's a pretty temperate climate and it's suitable for agriculture. Current demographics and economic status in the Balkans as of the 2013 census, which is the latest for the 7th edition, there are 1.27 million people who claim Greek ancestry. There are over 400,000 Croatian Americans, and there are 189,000 Serbian Americans. A little bit about these people. The Greeks have large populations in New York, California, Illinois, Maryland. They opened up many small restaurants and Greek candy businesses, and they have lower than average poverty. And Bosnians immigrated after the 1990s. Middle East. Some immigrants deny Arab ancestry because of discrimination after September 11th, but they still are the fastest growing ethnic group in the United States. Many have settled in California, New York, or Michigan, and they do have very high education rates. Religion. Greek Orthodox Church is very popular. The Serbian Orthodox Church is pictured right there. They also have many Roman Catholics and Muslims. About 55% are Muslim and 15% are Roman Catholic. Religion. So early Arab immigrants were Christian, but now most follow Islam. Iranians are Muslim, and Israeli Americans are mostly followers of Judaism, which is the Jewish religion and one of the oldest religions. Greeks are patriarchal, which means the man is the head of the household and has unquestioned authority. They do believe in respect for elders. Greek women focus on home, family, and church, and men are supposed to be kind of the breadwinners who go to college and work. Serbian families believe in communal living and also respect their elders. And Bosnian families, that's a Bosnian family pictured. Traditionally, both husbands and wives work, but responsibility for the home is with the woman. More family, again, mostly patriarchal. Teachings of the Quran say that men and women are equal, but have different responsibilities. And marriages are often arranged between children, and this helps families establish political and business alliances. Arabs actually have a small preference for marriage between cousins, but it's not as popular today, as you can imagine. American practices versus Middle Eastern. So adoption of American practices such as personal autonomy and self-determination contradicts Middle Eastern emphasis on doing what is best for the good of the family. And this has resulted in a lot of intergenerational conflict between parents and children. Traditional health beliefs. Physical fitness is important, good diet, sleep, relaxation. I may ask you some of their common remedies. So castor oil can help bowels, honey and lemon can help sore throat, and garlic can help protection from a jealous gaze. Traditional health beliefs and practices, Middle Easterners. Some Middle Easterners believe illness is due to wind or air. Iranians, women are considered colder than men, and younger people are hotter than older people, and temperature can influence your health. I do have a couple herbal remedies pictured. Parsley is on the left, and that can help treat kidney disease. Caraway seeds are in the middle. Those can help with digestion. And olive oil can help treat a UTI. Traditional food habits I may ask you about. So indigenous ingredients to the Middle East include wheat, olives, and dates. Introduced ingredients include rice, chickpeas, and lemons. Geographical influences. They do have a lot of influence from North Africa, from the southern part of Europe, and parts of South Asia. Most significant differences among cuisine are due to religious restrictions. For example, pork and alcohol. Muslims do not eat alcohol. And this is a picture of a tradition Middle Eastern barbecue. Staples. Let me ask you about some staples. So they do like wheat a lot, and wheat was first thought to be cultivated in the Balkan region and is consumed at every meal as bread. They have loaves in Greece, flatbreads in the Middle East, pita breads, very common to the US. Bulgur. I may ask you what bulgur is. Bulgur is cracked wheat kernels, and it's often cooked as side dishes or made into tabbouleh, which is pictured there. And tabbouleh has onions, parsley, mint, and vegetables. And then a dessert that's very common is pictured on the right, and that's balaclava. And that has usually some nuts, often pistachios, and kind of a very sugary, yummy paste with a very thin dough. Staples. Rice is preferred, and they have something called polo, which is the Iranian version of pilaf. They like long grain rice, and it's often sauteed in butter or onion first with chopped onion that have been browned and sometimes cooked in chicken broth. Polo rice I have pictured right there, and it actually looks kind of like a dessert because it's been browned at the top. Chickpeas are really common. They make hummus. They have a lot of lentils and a lot of lentil soups. And then olives are very, very common. Everybody sells olives, and everybody makes their own olives. Staples, fruits. Quince fruit is actually pictured on the far right, and they like pomegranates, figs, dates, etc. Milk and cheese. I may ask you about this. So milk is not widely consumed, but sometimes they'll use it in puddings, custards, and fermented foods. And cheese, they usually make from goat, sheep, or camel. So you could have camel cheese. And the most common cheese that they eat is feta cheese. Meats, all meat is eaten except for pork. So they do not eat pork in Muslim countries. And Jewish countries do not eat pork or shellfish. The most popular meat, I may ask you, is lamb. Also, kebabs are very popular, and something called shawarma, as well as meatballs, are very popular. So lamb is the most popular meat. Staples. Spices and herbs are abundant and plentiful. They have pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, oregano, and parsley. Tahini. I have a little video about tahini. Tahini is ground sesame seeds. They're used as a sauce and dessert-like paste called halva. They do make a lot of fresh fruits and fruit ices. They call them sharbat. And this is the origin for what we call sherbet here. And they have coffee that they consume all day long. Other staples. Svek is a distilled spirit that they drink. And ouzo and arak are anise-flavored spirits. And these are some videos on Persian food, Turkish food, and Lebanese food. Regional variations of the Balkans. Pork and veal are popular for stew and roasts. They have something called savapi. I may ask you what this is. This is a grilled kebab that's then eaten on a thick pita. And sometimes it's with beef, lamb, or onions, cheese, and sour cream. So that's actually pictured on the far right. It's this kebab that's eaten in a pita, and it's called savapi. Ajer is pictured in the middle, and ajer is a dip made with roasted bell peppers and eggplant and seasoned with garlic and vinegar. Maybe sweet to hot, used as a condiment or a side. And then patika is on the far left, And that is a sweet bread that's rolled with walnuts, butter, cream, and egg filling. Middle Eastern variations. So they usually have 3 to 5 distinct culinary areas. Greece and Turkey are one. And Iranian and Arab fare are another. So Greece and Turkey, I may ask you, they're well known for grilled meats, fish, seafoods, etc. Arab fare, more grains, legumes, and vegetables. And they make something called kebab, and that's actually pictured right there. It's a mixture of fine cracked wheat, grated onions, ground lamb, and it's pounded into a paste, and it can be eaten raw or grilled. Regional variations continued. So Iranian food, I may ask you what the other name for Iranian food or food from Iran is called. And it's sometimes called Persian food. They have pomegranate, saffron, spinach, rice, tea, eggplant, and they really like kebab. So kebab is pictured there. The chilo kebab is the national dish of Iran, and it's thinly sliced pieces of marinated grilled lamb. It's served over rice with butter, egg yolks, and saffron. Regional variations, Israel. They have a lot of Middle Eastern and Jewish influence, quite a variety of foods, and these are some of the things that they enjoy. Meal composition and cycle. Usually 3 meals a day with snacking. I may ask you about this. The main meal is lunch, and often a nap follows. Breakfast is usually pretty simple, something like bread and honey. Lunch is a lot bigger. Dinner is sometimes leftovers, and wine is served at lunch and dinner. Greece. I may ask you what the word meze means. And the word meze or meza, sometimes you hear, means appetizer. So they'll have small sausages or little pastries, just kind of small things to eat. In Turkey, dinner is the main. Etiquette. I might ask you guys a question about some etiquette. So hospitality is really important, and guests, even uninvited ones, are made to feel welcome. They're automatically offered food and drink, usually candy, coffee, orzo, or tea. Guests are expected to bring a gift. Status is based on sex, age, and social rank. And in Yemen, women eat separate from the men, must wash hands before eating and thank Allah. Other things, it's rude to fill one's cup. If one person stops eating, you are expected to stop eating, and you should leave some food on the plate to indicate satisfaction. And conversation takes place before and after the meal. Special occasions. Food is important to religion, weddings, and births. Easter is especially important. It begins with dyed red eggs, soup, lamb, rice pilaf, veggies, cheese, and pastries. They do have something called Et al-Fitr. This is a holiday that follows Ramadan. Like I said, Et al-Fitr follows Ramadan, and it's a cross between feasting of Thanksgiving and the festivity of Christmas, and that's a picture of it there. Therapeutic uses of foods. I may have some questions about this. So fresh foods are best, and canned and frozen foods are often avoided. Ample meals are needed to prevent illness. They feel that food deprivation causes illness. Poor appetite is regarded as a disease. They do have hot and cold foods. Hot foods include garlic, carrots, bell pepper, apples, and dates. Cold foods include beef, cucumbers, tomato, eggplant, grapes, lemons, sour cherries, etc. They do have foods that are associated with childbirth. Eggs cooked in garlic and chicken soup are eaten after childbirth, and saffron custard helps a woman regain her strength. Cultural food adaptations. The longer an immigrant stays here, the higher degree of Americanization of their diet. So traditional dishes become more Americanized. This is a picture of Petra in San Luis Obispo, and it is a Mediterranean restaurant where you can taste some things like baba ganoush, kebabs, hummus, pita bread, feta cheese, etc. Nutritional status. We don't have very much information on the Balkans or Middle Eastern Americans, but there is a lot of research on the Greeks. The Greek diet is low in saturated fat and high in monounsaturated fats and omega-3s, and this might help with hypertension, which is high blood pressure, with diabetes, and with obesity. Ramadan fasting. So effects of the Ramadan fast. There is some weight loss that occurs, and not everybody has to fast, so sometimes pregnant ladies and elderly, as well as very young children, are excluded from the fast. Cultural food adaptations. Milk. Milk, traditionally, they would drink sheep, camel, and goat milk, but in the US, they're drinking more cow's milk. And feta cheese remains popular. Cereals and grains. Bread still is eaten at most meals. Pita is very popular. Fruits and vegetables, fewer are consumed, but olives are still very popular. And fats and oils, olive oil is still very popular. So in conclusion, we have talked about the Balkans and the people of the Middle East.
All right. Thanks for listening, class. See you next time.